Um, let the attendance list pop like popcorn, like it usually does at this time. Let's take a moment to introduce any new team members. If anyone's new and wants to say hi, this is a good shot. It's just family here. Don't be shy. Who is brand new?
I'm definitely brand new. It's
What's up,
definitely
man?
it's
How are
my
you?
first. All right, all right. It's my first call. My name's LaRue. I'm from well, currently I'm working with Aflac. So
Nice, man. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Delaware, and now I'm based out here in Riverside.
California?
Yeah, I'm in Riverside, California, but I'm from Delaware.
Man, I used to work in Riverside.
Yeah.
I opened up a gym there in a different life. That was a good time. Yeah, man. Well, welcome. Anyone else new?
I'm new. I'm in therapy. I can't show myself, but I wanted to listen in.
No worries. Happy to
Lisa
have.
Hayes.
What's that?
Lisa Hayes.
Oh, what's going on, Lisa? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I'm joining this with Sarah from Illinois, my
Yeah,
professor.
I know you. Let's do this.
Let's
Excited.
do it.
Who else is new? Who wants to say hi?
Hi, I'm new. My name's Adam.
What's up, Adam?
I actually have a meet and greet with you today at 2 o'clock, but Giovanna had sent me this message, so I figured I'd jump in and check this out, before I spoke with you at 2.
I'm so glad I have a guest on today's call so you don't have to listen to me talk for 2 hours.
Do that. Do that.
Yeah, we'll catch up at 2, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, welcome. Where are you from? I'm sorry.
Oh, Petersburg, Florida.
Sweet. Awesome. Let's take a moment, since there's some new people in here, for anyone that's on the team, and you can even put this if you're new, just put in the chat what state you're from, state and city. Y'all can make connections there. Adam, are you new? Saw you on mute.
I am new. Yeah, I'm new.
Awesome, man. Where you from?
St. Petersburg, Florida.
There we go. You're gonna find some people, you're gonna find some neighbors on the
I
team.
bet I was on mute. I bet I got you. I was like, I said that.
Adam, whose team are you on?
Giovanna's.
Nice. Right on, man. Welcome. Anyone else? I see some other new faces. I'm not gonna call you out though. I know how that would feel if I was new. I
I'm
was
new.
about to call you out, Emma. Okay.
I'm new. I'm from Prentice, Wisconsin, so like central Wisconsin kind of thing. But
Cool.
yeah,
Right on. I'm licensed in Wisconsin. I've never been there though.
it's
Let's see.
awesome. I call it my safe state.
Oh, love that. Yeah, clients are great in Wisconsin. That's why I picked up that license. They're all very nice. Who else is new?
What's up, guys?
Hey, Gabe.
Hi, I'm new. I'm on Joseph's team, Greenville, South Carolina.
Yes, man. We're stoked for you, bro. Let's do this.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Ready to dig in. Anyone else? Going once. Going twice. You're gonna have to wait another week if you don't unmute.
Call Dave.
Dave. Come on. Dave, my
Call
guy.
Dave.
Dave. Where's Dave at? All right, we're gonna get moving. We got a guest today, so I want to move through some slides. We'll open this up next week. No worries.
Awesome. Well, welcome to all of our new people. If you are new and we have not met before, I am Kate. I'm Scott's wife. We have a special guest today that is a near and dear friend we're super excited about. So we're going to run through slides in celebration a little bit. If you are able, please hop on camera out of respect for our guest. And honestly, it just makes it more fun to be able to see your faces. So let's go ahead. I will share screen and we will. Oh, baby, got to give me. Think you got to give me a post here.
There you go.
Okay. Oh, it's still not working. Hold on. Third time's the charm. There we go.
Man, last day of the month vibes. Anyone feel that way?
The
I've got like
accountability call was
special,
exciting
I've
this
got like
morning. We got a lot of
special,
people running for some last minute APV today for promotions. If
I got
you
like,
are aiming for APV today, put it in the chat so everybody can be encouraging you and rooting you on.
yeah, lots of people running after promotions right now. We're pumped. This is a good season. All right, let's do this. Welcome to the Schnitzer Master Agency Call. I'm Kate's husband, Scott, if I haven't met yet. We're direct to Ashley, direct to the Danny Young hierarchy, who's direct to Symmetry, and we're stoked to spend some time with you today. If you're new on the team and you're like, what calls should I be going to? This is a good slide to take a picture of. Every single one of these calls serves a good purpose. We fully understand you can't make it to every single one of them. There's 20, 30 calls a week the Symmetry offers. These are the ones that we want to point you towards. These are the ones that we found extreme value out of. Kate, is the application list for the February accountability call still open, or did you close that already?
Oh no, it's still open. We have a slide on it. Don't you worry.
Cool. All right, I'll hold off on that. Team call on Mondays. We actually meet with a few other teams on Monday, so it's a little bit bigger call. This one's just the Schnitzer Master Agency call. So if you're here, we in the same family. Let's do this. Casework call on Tuesdays. Bob Granzard has dedicated an hour a week to answer everyone's questions about casework. He's an absolute pro. I'm pretty sure he has like buyer's guides and underwriting sheets like just imprinted in his brain by now, because he's just a good person to go to ask questions to, but he's not going to just give you the fish. He's going to teach you how. So he'll show you where to go to find the answers that you're looking for. It's just very helpful. When Kate and I were brand new, we did that 5 days a week, and now we do it once. So you gotta show up to that Tuesday call.
And I want to invite
As
you guys that even if you're new and you don't have casework necessarily yet, or week to week, it's like, oh, I don't have casework to work on. Attend that call just to start getting familiar with the lingo, hearing, oh, this person has this medical situation. Now I know in the future to go to this carrier first. Scott and I sat on these, like I said, we had these 5 days a week, and it's just good to absorb and just become a part of it and understand different scenarios and what the carriers will and won't favor.
Perfect. SFG national call on Wednesdays, and deep dive with the sales expert on Thursdays. I have learned so much from this call. This is where I feel like I became an expert with switchboard and sales, just learning from these guys. And it's a really good one to plug into, whether you're new or seasoned. And then the Schnitzer Master Agency call. You guys are already here. We don't got to tell you. Take a picture of this if you want to know which good calls to hop on every single week. Live dial sessions are available in the virtual office. Hanging out with your friends that are life insurance agents is available in the virtual office. It's just a good place to be. This is where the space that we have open so that you don't have to work alone at home. Okay, we all know this is a remote job. It's, for me at least, it's tough to work by myself all day. I like to hang around people. So we have the virtual office open for that. We have veteran agents live dialing in here, running appointments. But we need more people to sign up. So we posted a QR code here. If you want to do some live dials, go ahead and take a picture of that and you can sign up real quick. We have a technical error.
I don't know why that happened. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so you saw on the schedule the accountability call. This is a month-by-month group. Anybody is welcome anytime to hop in, watch, listen, just be a fly on the wall. However, if you are in a position in a season, we talked a little bit about a few weeks ago, a season of sacrifice, where you are acting as if you're deployed and you are determined to grow your business in the month of February. Go ahead and scan this QR code. It's also been posted in Slack a number of times. I'll post it again after today's call. And just fill out a form if you want to be a part of the high challenge, high accountability group. What this is 15 minutes of motivation. Jim Larson invited Scott and I about 3 months ago to join forces with him, and it has been incredibly fruitful. So it's 15 minutes usually from Jim. Sometimes if Jim is out, Scott and I will hop in there. You'll also hear from Sarah Reinecke. You'll hear from a number of other leaders as well. And then the second 15 minutes of the half hour is us breaking out into our group. So the Schnitzer group breaks out and we go over our numbers. So we have different numbers that we go through, like DCAs, dials, contacts, appointments. You set minimums and stretches for your monthly APV goal, and the group together is going to hold you accountable, hold you to a higher standard, hold you to your word, encourage you, champion you. It has been incredibly fruitful. It's been so cool to see the people that have joined grow over the last 3 months and see the consistency of their APV week to week to week. Just to shout out a few, Jenny Goldsmith, Sarah Neal, Bob Greenwood, Wilbur Smith have just been on a rip and absolute fire. Rod has been here 5.5 seconds and has 10,000 issued. And I want to assume that the accountability group is a huge part of that. So join us. It's 5 days a week. You can choose 3 to 5. It is 9 a.m. Eastern, so just be aware of time zones. And it's 30 minutes, 9 a.m. to 9:30 Eastern on Zoom. There are some kind of rules and buy-ins that we ask you to agree to. So if you're showing up, you're on camera, you're active in the chat, you're active in Slack, and you are filling out your daily tracker each day. It's been super fruitful. If you want to reach out to anybody that has been a part of it and see if it's a good fit for you, again, anybody is welcome to join, watch, and listen. But if you want to be a part of your numbers on the daily tracker and seeing your business and your bank account grow, just make sure that if you're licensed, you have your contracting numbers and you're ready to go.
I would say if you're not consistently doing 5K weeks, this is a one that you should do. Giovanna laid down an awesome call today and just like highlighted the importance of accountability and coaches and like leaning into the hard stuff. So yeah, don't do it alone. Let's go. Next slide here. It's the last day of the month. Last day to submit business and get business issued. What does that mean, Kate? We got to do, if you need anything, what do you need to do today?
Instant decision, instant issue. If you know what products those are and what carriers provide them for you, put them in the chat. If somebody needs APV to count for February and it needs to be in today, what carriers and products should they be aiming towards?
If I'm like $1,200 away from my promotion and I need a little bump, who am I going to? Yeah, SBLI, Americo, LGA. Good job. All right, cool.
Awesome.
You guys got this. Let's close out strong.
All right, guys. So February in Symmetry Land starts tomorrow. So wanted to give you a look. Say it again. Oops, somebody must have unmuted for a second. Yeah. So wanted to give you a look at the month as a whole. So February was a 5-week month, January was a 5-week month. February is going to be a 4-week month. So day 1 of week 1 starts tomorrow. And if you're new here, Symmetry weeks start on Saturdays and go to Friday. So week 1 will end on Friday. Week 2 will begin on Saturday the 8th, and so on and so forth. The reason that we highlight this calendar and this schedule, guys, is because Scott and I missed promotions by not understanding the Symmetry calendar. We do not want that to happen to any of you. So that is why we show this week after week after week, so that you are aware. Know what day your submit final date is and know what day your final issue date is, especially if you're running for a promotion. I'm going to mute because our baby's screaming.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, we missed two promotions we had to start over on because of the months. We didn't know. We just didn't know, Kate. Can you press next slide? Wilbur, you take over here, man. You got this. Giovanna and I are doing a corporate overview or company overview. What?
Wilbur unmuted to take this slide.
I said, what do you need from me, dude? You called
Wilbur,
my answer. Here we are.
Take over, man. Step in. Let's go. You got this.
Oh, actually? Okay, cool. Check this out. Wednesday, 2/12. Giovanna Michu and Scott Schnitzer, the dynamic duo, will be throwing down a company overview. So if you got new people, get them here so they can get educated and then they can join your team.
Anyone else want to guest on the next slide? Joseph Helms, you got the next one. Kate's running back and forth from feeding a baby right now.
Well, the most important thing you can do this year is join the State of the Union coming up on February the 19th. Don't miss it. It is 2 hours, so make sure that you mark that time in your calendar. We got some awesome updates. I don't even know the updates yet, but last year's they rolled out a lot of things last year. So excited for where we're heading and excited to see the progress of some of the things that they said about last year. And so make sure you do not miss that. Go ahead and mark it in your calendars now.
Awesome. All right, Rod, you're the next guest. Go ahead and take this slide, buddy.
All right, so we got 2025 Symmetry Engage. If you're not there, I don't know what you're doing. All the top producers, guess what? Guess where they say to go? Get yourself to conference. Am I gonna be there? I'm gonna make it happen. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I'll be in Denver, Colorado. So figure it out. If you just figure it out, you got this. Engage, you gotta be there.
I love it, man. I love it. I would second that. Figure it out. All right, we got a shout out from the national call. Venus Diaz, number 7 AD producer, 5576. That was a light week for Venus. Great job, Venus. You keeping the train going. That's like 26 weeks in a row, something like that. I'm not counting.
We also heard that Venus, what did Amber Pearson text us? She's an absolute weapon or something like that. Venus was a guest on Jim Larson's Master Agency call, and apparently she crushed it. So we have asked for the recording, and we will be sure to share it so you guys can all witness her goodness.
I had one of the agents text me. They're like, I want to grow up and be like Venus when I'm older. Heard it was a good one. Bob Granzer, number 3 agency owner for new writers. Great job, sir. We see you hustling over there, building your team, doing all the things. Great job, man. Proud of you.
This was a fun one. We officially, as a team, hit 125 and were announced on Wednesday, as well as 6 ready to writes. So fun just to see the team as a whole growing. Just so fun. So many new people week after week. Welcome, everybody. If this is your first call and you're like, what does national call shout outs mean? Join us on Wednesday and you'll kind of get a better understanding of what these look like week to week.
The more exciting part to me, Kate, is like the text messages going back and forth this week. I think we have 8 people pushing for a promotion right now.
Yep.
This month.
Next month, where we may not be able to have a guest one week because we're only going to be celebrating promotions.
Yeah. And I told Michael that we would do this for 15 minutes and we've already gone to minute 20 here. So Michael, I appreciate you, my guy. We'll get there. We'll get there. We're excited, okay? This week's new writers, we got James Bradford, One App, 1882. I think he did a couple more than that, so we might have needed an update here. Joshua Graham, great job plugging into all the things. One App, 1173. And Philip Strickland, Paul, looking sharp in the suit there, sir. One App, 737. These aren't your little first apps, right? Like my first app was $123. These are legit apps, so great job, y'all. Great job. I wrote that accidental on myself and I was proud of it, so don't knock me for it. Other new writers, Brooke Hawes. See, you should be proud of yourself. You did one. One App, 126. Danielle Davies, One App, 126. Both of these ladies are ready to absolutely crush you here. I've talked to them both in the last day and they're pumped. They're ready. So let's encourage them in the chat. 5K by Friday. Sarah Hadley and Denise. Let's freaking go. You
Don't
guys
skip
are
yourself,
awesome.
babe. You had a great week too. Amongst everything, he was still able to get his 5K in by Friday. Great job, ladies. Denise and Sarah, just always, always, always holding that standard. 5K by Friday, again, if you're a little bit new, this is like the standard here. Aiming for $5,000 by the end of the week. Each week is going to make you the most profitable, A, as you're a producer, and then B, as you're growing your team, it's going to make you the most profitable here.
All right, we're going to crush these next few slides.
Oh, but these are the most exciting slides.
I'm going to go with the faces that we can see. Sarah Neal, 12,767 for the month. Joseph Helms, 17,000, 14 apps. Great job, Jenny. Goldsmith, 18,000, 12 apps. Javan Namitru, 19,670, 20 apps. Venus Diaz, 24,263, 13 apps. That's a lot of premium on 13 apps, Venus. That's a good case size right there, my friend. And then Sarah Hadley. Sarah, come on.
Sarah.
Let's go. Best month ever in the business. Most profit she's ever made in the business. Showing up for her team, getting ready to write, doing all the things, loving on her team members. I'm only shouting you out because you're in first place this month, but Man, so good. You're doing all the things. You're doing all the things, okay? And it wasn't just this month. I didn't mean it like that. You've been doing all the things for months and months and months. This
Sarah
is
has
what it
made
equals out to.
Sarah has made tiny tweaks in her business over the last 60 to 90 days, and they have made major impact. So if you want to emulate somebody like Sarah that is coming up on the leaderboards week after week after week, we had a call with her about 2 weeks ago now that you can hear a little bit more. I can send the video link, but also just follow what Sarah does. Sarah's in the virtual office. Sarah's prioritizing core carriers like Americo and LGA that are going to pay her the most, protect her clients the best. Sarah is buying leads week after week after week. Sarah's putting in her dials. She's aiming for 10 appointments a week. She's doing all the things that the Symmetry system teaches her to do, and she is seeing fruit from it. Sarah, we love you. We are so, so, so proud of you. Our last slide here is our most exciting slide, our road to ownership slide. If you are new, this slide is showing a agent that has other agents within their team as well, and they are running for ownership. Review your levels of leadership and promotion guidelines. You should have gotten that in Basecamp as well as from your game plan call and within the handbook. What this means is they are on their way to agency ownership. They are on their way to signing paperwork to officially own their business by growing their team and growing their volume each month. So let's run through these real quick. Team Helms, Joseph and Paige, 54,975 with 51 apps. That's a great ratio, 6 writers. Team Neil, 48,479, 44 apps and 8 writers. Team Goldsmith, a team leader, 35,712. 31 apps and 7 writers. Team Hadley, 28,879 APV, 31 apps and 3 writers. Team Smith is a team leader already on his way to key leader, $32,048, 30 apps, 5 writers. Team Clark, 12,472 APV with 10 apps and 2 writers. Team Banks, already a team leader on his way to key leader, 9,289 APV, 10 apps and 2 writers. Team Tomplay, 7,225 apps or APV, 9 apps and 3 writers. Bob and Maria Greenwood with 14,869. Guys, I was updating this slide this morning. They put up 10,000 additional APV dollars in the last week. So it was cool to update this from 4 to 14. 16 apps, 3 writers, and then Team Hooks 901, 2 apps and 2 writers.
This is where it's at, y'all. This slide I feel like is gonna grow, but look at all the teams blossoming out. Like this is a page full of future agency owners. If you want in on this, we've got a system. Just start inviting people into it. But man, I'm so proud of everybody on this screen. I think I see a potential key leader breakout in there. Maybe 3 potential agency owner runs starting right now. This looks good.
Contract level promotions. All you need to be on this slide, guys, is to be a writer with a writer. So if you're like, wait, I have team members that have written, you got to make sure that you are a writer this month as well. And then you will get a spot as you are on your way to agency ownership here. That is it for our slides.
Awesome. Proud of y'all. Michael Mathews.
Michael Mathews.
What is happening, you guys?
I get to see you in a couple of weeks, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that, to be honest. I'm just excited. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I am beyond proud. Like, number one, to call you guys friends, running buddies, but like, I know you was like, man, I got 15 minutes worth of slides. You don't have to worry about hopping on early. I love seeing the slides, by the way. Like, they fired me up. I was for sure gonna have Ida text Kate, be like, hey, we need like send me the slideshow. We need to copy some of these.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We've stolen them from so many people.
I'm pretty sure our layout is copied from 12 other agencies as well. So
yeah.
That's the best way to do it, right?
Business. It's a copycat business.
That's all it is. If it worked for somebody else, then it can work for you too. You just have to be open to it and set your ego aside. So
that's kind of how we started getting closer in this business. Like 2 years ago, we decided to team up in a group of 5. At the time, we were all new agency owners, and we got together in this little group, and we're like, hey, let's just pour into each other, steal ideas, share ideas, pump each other up until all of us hit 130. And we've stayed together. We met again last week. Like, it's constant. We just are stealing things from each other. I was scared to do cold market. Michael helped me out with that. So thank you, bro. Everything that you've done to pour into our agency, and they don't even know all that you've done for us. So appreciate you, man. I don't have any like stats or anything. So brag on yourself for a second. Where are you guys at in the business? How are things going? And then just tell your story to our team. I think that's super impactful. Every time you come on, people are like texting me for an hour after saying how impactful your story was. So we'll start there.
No, I appreciate it. Well, like I said, I'm grateful just to be friends with you guys. Now you guys live in New York, so like hour away from where I'm from, essentially. So, but you guys, Michael Mathews, direct to Chris Andrew Smith, and then Marty Valor, Ben Safety Board, Danny Young Hierarchy, and I'm just really grateful to be so. You guys, just because I just wouldn't be the man or the person I am today, just without those people I named, right? Not just role models within the business, but also just role models in life, and just showing me how to do life. Right. And I think that's really important. That's the opportunity that Symmetry provides, is it puts you in an environment with people who are striving, again, not just to be able to hit certain goals within the business, but just to be able to live a better life and just to continue to foster that environment. It's just showed me a different way, because where I'm from, like I said, I'm from Rochester, New York. Right. I grew up, I'm one of six kids. Mom and dad separated when I was young, probably like 6 or 7 years old. Grew up in a family. I know we all have our own versions of hard, you guys, right? No one's heart is worse than somebody else's, right? Because we all have our journeys to be able to go through, right? But I grew up, all my older siblings either dove into drug and alcohol abuse, right? They dealt with drug dealing, things of that nature, right? And I just always wanted to be able to find a different path. And that path, I played basketball pretty much my whole life, you guys, that all the way up until college. I even dropped out of school to be able to pursue symmetry, right? I found Symmetry in July of 2021. I was actually looking for my now fiance. She was working at Target at the time, and she just wanted a new job. And like I said, I wasn't doing anything but playing basketball, right? I was a broke college kid. I was on my way back to school coming up in that fall of that year. And when I saw this on Indeed, probably like some of you guys that are probably cold market recruits, I saw this and it just said 75 to 300K. I'm like, why is this on Indeed? Right? What is this? This should not be here. And I looked into it and talked about insurance. Now, to give you a little bit more background, I've only held two jobs before this. Right? I worked at a rec center from the ages of 12 to 17, where I really just played basketball all day and ate the free food. And I was in charge of like looking over kids and all that stuff. But and then I worked at the post office. I was a mailman for a year. My freshman year of college, I broke my arm during practice, so I went out and got a job to be able to make some income. And that was probably one of the greatest things that happened to me, though, Scott. Just because during that time, I realized like, oh, like this job stuff ain't necessarily for me. Because the people I was around at the time was like, man, you have a great career, right? You're a mailman, right? You get to retire in 20, 30 years. You get these government benefits, right? I was making $1,500 2 weeks. Now, perspective, at 18, 19, $1,500 every 2 weeks wasn't bad.
You were
But
balling.
60,
You were balling at the time.
yes, but I was working like 60, 70 hour weeks, and it was pretty crazy. But the thing that stuck out to me the most, and why I say I'm grateful for it, is just because I was able to see, right, like just that whole corporate America stuff, right? The culture was very negative, right? Everybody hated their job. They was trying to find ways to scam the system to be able to get time off, or like just they had to ask for it, and just all these different things. And I'm like, this is a great career. I don't know if this is for me, right? I need to find a different way. And that's when I started thinking to myself, like, oh, I need to find a way to be a business owner. So that's the thing that stuck out to me about this opportunity and why I decided to take advantage of it and just really put all my eggs in this basket.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah,
we
I'm
can
glad I
follow
did too.
follow-up question. Just to like be super clear in your story. Michael, how old were you when you started Symmetry?
22. I was 22.
22.
26 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just talk about the startup, man. I know like Sarah posted in the chat. She's like, I still remember the story from a year ago. I can't believe it's been a year since we had you on team call, so I apologize. But
No, you're good.
started with $4 in your pocket and built an agency. Walk us through that, man. Give us high level.
Yeah. That was all right, there's two different mindsets of this, right? Like to give you guys some perspective, my first 6 months, you guys, I did $15,000 in business. You guys are doing that in a week. You guys are doing that in a month, right? Just
Scott did
absolutely
11,000 in his first 12, so you beat him.
My first 12 months.
Yeah,
What?
I know.
Oh man. Well, I feel good, man, knowing I was a little bit better than Scott in my first 6 months.
Here to pump you up, man.
I appreciate that. But right, like that, it wasn't fun, right? And a lot of times we confuse, right, this business with being hard, right? But we have to be able to be given the business a certain amount of intention and activity and commitment to even say it was hard. So my first 4 months in the business, you guys, like I was really bad, but I really couldn't say it was tough or a strain or hard at all because I was really treating it like a hobby. I was treating it like a hobby. I would show up when I wanted to, put the work in when I wanted to, buy leads when I wanted to. And I remember my second month in the business, which was August, my mentor called me. He was like, "Hey, bud, like, haven't seen you on the calls. Like, haven't seen you post anything." He was like, "How's everything going?" And I just flat out lied, right? I was like, "Yeah, I'm buying leads and I'm dialing. I'm just getting these objections, and it's tough." And not knowing at the time, by the way, I didn't realize this till I became agency owner. Your agent mentor can see when you buy leads, you guys. So he flat out knew I was lying. So like I wasn't treating it like a business. I was treating it more like a hobby and showing up when I wanted to. Where the business really started getting tough though was in November and December, right? Because that's when I actually committed, right? So now at that time, I've been in the business for 4 months. Again, was buying leads here and there, but I wanted to actually started treating it serious. And again, I was broke, you guys. I had $200 to my name. My bank account was constantly in the negative. So I was like, man, how can I get out of this situation as fast as possible? Right. And that's a question we have to ask ourselves sometimes because in this business, you guys, you have to be a figure it out person. You have to find a way to figure it out. Yes, your mentor, your agent mentor is going to provide so many different things, right? They're going to help you provide, they're going to provide the system, the coaching, the mentoring, the support. But what they can't provide, right? They can't help you with grit, right? They can't help you show up consistently. They can't help you be a student of the game, right? That has to all come within you. So even though my upline and my agent mentors was providing all those other things, right? They were meeting me 50%. I had to show up the other 50% and be willing to grow and find a way, right? So for me, finding a way, right, on how to make sure I had money for leads, I just went out and did Uber, right? I used to wake up at like 3 a.m., be out on the road till probably like 7, 8, come back for our team calls and then go back out for the lunch rush, come back to be able to dial run appointments. So I had to figure that out. But more importantly, what did I have to figure out in the business? Because that's what's important, right? Because that's what you guys want to be able to know. Like, where do I have to level up and grow in the business? And number one, the first thing I had to do was I had to realize number one, the opportunity in front of me at Symmetry, and I had to believe in it, right? We talk about that number one cornerstone of belief, and I had to believe the system work. And that was very apparent because when I actually started joining the team calls, I've seen so many people winning, right? So many people winning. And I remember asking Marty Valor, in my hierarchy, I was like, man, what is this person doing that I'm not? He just simply said they're doing more than you. That's it. They're buying more leads than you. They're putting more work in than you, and they're just more consistent. I'm like, okay, easy enough, right? So I remember reaching out to my agent mentor. Don't wait. If I'll give you guys a tip, don't wait for your agent mentor to come to you. You go to your agent mentor, right? You press the issue, right? You hear people say all the time, hey, the agents that blow my phone up the most see success. You're not being a bother, you guys. We want to be able to help you, but just like the old saying goes, we can lead a horse to water, but we can't make him drink, right? So you got to show up. So for me, it was the first thing I did. If you're not doing this, it was tracking my numbers, right? I started tracking my numbers every day. I sat down with my agent mentors every week and I provided them that spreadsheet like, hey, these are my numbers. Where do you see I can grow? Where do you see I can get better? The second thing was finding a comfortable budget for me to invest into leads consistently, right? So opposed to, all right, I'm gonna buy $100 worth of leads this week and nothing next week, and then buy another $100 worth of leads the following week, or buying $400 worth of leads this week and not buying anything for the rest of the month. It was a consistent lead budget. Hey, I'm gonna buy for whatever money I have, right? Going out there and do Uber, I'm gonna do $200 to $300 a week as consistently as possible, right? Because you need to be able to refill those leads. And then it was just identifying where I was in the moment, right? In that where I was in the learning curve and what I was struggling with. And that comes with reflection, that comes with personal development, and like just being super locked in on how to actually be able to overcome that. So if I was struggling with objections on the phone, then I was locked in that week on objections on the phone. If the next week I was struggling with lockdown, I was locked into on how to be able to improve my lockdown. But eventually it got to the appointment, and that was the part that took me the longest. But overall, right, that was really tough going through those 2 months. But overall, it took me 2 months of being locked in and going through that hard for where I did 15,000 in 6 months to where in 2022 I did 280,000 on my own pen. Right. So 2 months of being locked in and focused can completely change what your next year looks like or what the next few months look like for you. But it's up to you to show up with that intention, right? And you just have to you have to ask yourself pretty much that question is how long are you going to be comfortable with just with putting off what you're capable of, just continue to stay in a place right with where you're comfortable, right? You have to get uncomfortable to be able to grow, you guys. You have to. So that's if we're talking about intention, Scott, and kind of what I did, that was a quick overview of it.
Man, I think everyone's sitting here and they're like, I'm just waiting for one of these speakers to give me the secret, the magic code. And
Yeah.
you just gave it. Really, you just gave it. I love leaders that are really simple. You know, Jim Larson's one of them, you're one of them. Like we get poured into a lot by you guys, and it's like, here's what's really simple. Track your numbers. Have a consistent investing budget. Don't be a in and out agent, right? You got to have a consistent budget, right? If it's 200, great. You're going to go make anywhere from 60 to 80K. If it's 300, you have a chance to make close to 100. If it's 500, you can make 130, 140. I don't know. It all depends on your skill set. But that's where the third part comes in. It's identifying where am I going wrong so that I can go get the help to go fix that. That's
And that's
simple.
actually the hardest part. That's the hardest part, in my opinion, that people struggle with learning how to overcome is they don't want to ask themselves that tough question, right? Because they don't want to feel like that they're the problem, which is okay, right? That's just ego, right? Right. I recommend you guys go read the book Ego is the Enemy, right? Like your ego and your pride will get in the way to really act and really looking at yourself in the mirror and say, man, what am I doing? Because it's so much easier just to point the finger and say, no, it's the leads, man. It's my agent mentor. My team doesn't provide enough training, right? It's so easy to do that. But again, if that was the solution, you guys, don't you think everybody would do it and everybody would be seeing success in all those things? But it's because it's not, and we have to point the finger at ourselves and look at ourselves to realize, like, oh, I'm the problem, right? We can teach you guys how to sell insurance. We can teach you guys how to build a business, like Scott said, right? If you want to build, right, we have systems. Just reach out to us and we can help you, right? You want to produce, we have systems. But it's really hard to learn how to overcome yourself because this business is really, really simple, right? There's only a small thing, right? A small piece that separates people in this business from being great to and being good, right? And that small piece, you guys, is just consistency. That consistency. Just like, right, Scott, you work out a ton. You go to the gym today, you don't expect to see the results tomorrow or next week or next month. You know, and this is goes back to our number one cornerstone belief, right? You have to believe in yourself, believe in the system, right? You know, as long as you're going to the gym, as long as you're following that diet, you are going to see the results, even if you don't physically see it today or next week or next month. You know, as long as you keep showing up. So why do we treat the business any different?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about consistency for a sec.
Mhm.
Danielle Davies just asked a really good question in the chat. We're going to run off this.
Okay.
Okay. You wanted to produce,
Mhm.
and Michael, I think it's like it's worth talking to people about. Like you like making money. I remember you
Yeah.
sent me a text one day. You're like, dude, I can't believe we get to make this type of money, and all you have to do is help people. And I'm like, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. But she asked this question that's really good. So you wanted to produce and help people. Um,
Mhm.
I know life insurance wasn't like your game plan when you were a kid, but you found this as a good avenue to do
Mhm.
that. But you also wanted to build a business and build a team so that you can make passive income, make bigger impact, like all the things. So how
Mhm.
do you run like how did you run your calendar early on? Maybe just pick a stage in the game that you were at and like
Mhm.
dial in on what does that consistency look like for you?
Yeah. So I give you two phases, right? When it comes to calendar, right? Because for me, early on, when I first started, there was no calendar, by the way. Like I just thought, oh, in my mind, I told me I got this. Right? I can show I'm a down 9 to 11. I got it, right? I'm gonna do it. No, doesn't work that way. Then I bought a whiteboard, and the second part to that was I put everything on the whiteboard, right? I'm super old school. I learned how to use Google Calendar. I think I was like 8, 9 months in the business, and I learned what Google Calendar was. But I had a whiteboard where I was like writing everything down, and it looked good, but I didn't show up to anything. And then eventually, right, when I started finding my rhythm, started actually getting busy and having things to do, then it was like, all right, I don't have a choice. Like I have to, if I really want to grow, I got to be intentional with this, right? So I learned how to use Google Calendar. I had everything color coded. but then I just learned how to show up because I realized if I don't show up, then it just looks good, right? And I can show it to my agent mentor, like, hey, look at my schedule and all those things. But again, your agent mentor knows when you're working because they know if you put $300 in, you sit with 10 families. It is impossible, you guys, to not write an app if you sit with 10 families a week. Like, I think I was talking to Griff Martin a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, I've been here for 12, 13 years. I have never seen somebody sit with 10 families in a week and not help a family, right? So again, your agent mentor knows that because they've been through it. But when it came to producing and to recruiting and how to balance that, what I did, right? Saturdays for me are a non-negotiable dial day. To this day, I will dial every single Saturday morning, right? I will dial for 3 hours. So I always had that in my schedule. Saturday, we call it Blitz Dial Day. Saturdays, I always showed
I'm
up.
gonna pause you for 1 sec, dude. I'm so sorry. He's giving you guys cheat codes. If you're new, write this down. Michael and I are very the same. I know what he's about to say, so I want you guys to grasp this. Just write it down if you're new and put it into the calendar. Don't just take the note and put it somewhere in your office. Like transfer this into the calendar because this is literal cheat codes if we had any. It's the flow of the week, the calendar, the consistency. All right, go ahead, man. So I'm sorry.
Nah, you're good. You're good. But no, you are right though, right? Because and that's also something that's tough for a lot of people when they come into this, right? Because we're normally being used to being told what to do or clocking in or out. Now we have to learn how to be our own boss. And one of the things that I did early to again, because I wanted to track how much time I was actually spending towards the business. I was like, man, I'm working hard, like, but how much time am I spending? And this was early 2022 when I started finding my flow in production. I created like a clock in, clock out system for myself right on a spreadsheet where I was like, all right, I was on a team call for this hour. All right, I had a call with my agent mentor for this 15 minutes. I was dialing for this 2, 3 hours. I had an appointment here. Right, I'll just clock it, and I realized, and I wasn't even building yet, by the way. And I was probably in January, February, and March. I was probably averaging about $15,000 to $16,000 in production of early 2022. And I realized I was working like 18 hours a week. I'm like, 18 hours? What am I doing the other 22? I was like, I have a lot of time now. I have a lot of time to be able to go out there and build and add something into this, right? So, but I had to get more structure with my dialing, right? Because I couldn't show up wherever I wanted to dial. So I was like, all right, Saturdays, main dial day, right? If I dial for 3 hours, I know I can go out there and book 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 appointments within that 3 hours. Okay, right? So I'm gonna do that on Saturdays. Mondays, I'm gonna show up. Obviously, I'm running. And I used to run appointments on Sundays back then. Actually, just switched it to where I actually am. I'm back to doing that a little bit. But I would run appointments on Sundays, and then Monday I would dial again, right? And that's what allowed me to get my other appointments, right? I used to get another 3, 4, 5 appointments on Monday. So now I got my production taken care of because I've already got 4 or 5K on the weekend to where the rest of the week, now I can lock into actually doing interviews, right? I can lock in doing interviews 2 hours a day. And I always put my interview times in the afternoon, right? Because I'm not really dialing between 1 to 3. Not dialing, right? In my opinion, that's not, again, everybody's different. But for me, that was an efficient time to dial because so many people were at work. So I was like, all right, well, let me do interviews during that time. So 1 to 3, I would do interviews Monday through Friday. And then all my appointments would just be in the evening or early morning. And that's how I set my schedule up. And the first month that I did that, right, was April, because April 2022 is when I actually started doing interviews and cold market recruiting. I did $38,000 in production that month. And I was doing like 30, 40 interviews a week, right? Because I had to get more intentional about my production time and I actually had to schedule out when I was doing interviews. So I had to be actually on top of my schedule, opposed to where I had a lot of space in my schedule. I can just show up really randomly. So if you want to know what my schedule looked like, that's how I balanced it. Because what you realize, you guys, one, if you're doing the right things in this business, you know this when it comes to production, it doesn't take as much time as you think it may take. You just actually have to do the work.
Yeah, it's because when I was new, Kate did the same thing because we shared an office wall. Like I was doing so many random things. Like I learned how to do laundry during that time. No, I'm just kidding. I cleaned the ceiling fan. Man, I would call friends throughout the day because I'm like, I
Mhm.
don't, at the dealership, it was like boom, 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 boom all day. And now I'm my own boss and I get to manage my own schedule. So I was like calling friends throughout the day, like kicking back. Um,
I used to take naps. I was a notorious.
yeah,
I love naps, by the way.
yeah.
I take naps on the weekend now, but during the back then, I used to take before I started like recruiting all those things. Like I said, when I was doing 18 hours of just only production, The rest of that time before recruiting was I would take a 3-4 hour nap. And people say that's sleep, by the way, but that's a solid nap in my opinion.
No, man, I
Um,
need 20 minutes. I'm good. But like you're pointing out the fact that like, hey, this is the schedule that top producers do.
mhm,
Like for me, it was dial Friday evenings, run a
mhm,
few appointments Saturday mornings, good 3-4 hour dial session Saturday, run appointments Monday,
mhm.
recruit and coach Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, start over again.
Yep.
Sunday's always Sabbath, take Sunday off. I did
Mhm.
compromise Sundays at the very beginning though, because I wanted to make this work and I didn't want to go back to my job,
Yep.
right? So, in like, let's break this down. At 400 dials a week,
Mhm.
what is that? 10 hours of dialing?
If that, I would say 8 to 10.
All right. So let's
If you're
say,
really locked in and efficient with your dialing, I would say 8 to 10. Also depends on how many conversations you have, but let's say you
yeah.
could say 10.
And I'm a longer conversation person, so I'm giving you like light averages here too. So
Mhm.
let's say we set 15, 16 appointments, Michael, and 10 of them show up.
Mhm.
8 hours worth of appointments, 9 hours.
Yeah.
Some apps take you 20 minutes, some appointments take you an hour and 10. Who knows? Like you just can't judge that. So let's call it
Yep.
8 hours. So now we're at 18 hours for the week. And
Mhm.
I felt like I was working 40 hours a week when I was new trying to figure this out. And I made 2 grand my first month. How did that happen, Michael?
Well, this is something I wanna be able to add to that because when it comes to the time we spend in this business, the hours, they feel so much longer than they are actually, by the way. Like the hours we spend in this business can feel really, really weighty.
Yep.
Can feel really weighty to where it's like, man, I've been working all week. But if that is the case, if you're feeling like, man, if you're really only working that 15 to 20 hours, but you feel like you're spending 40, 50, 60, you need to raise your lid. You need to raise your capacity, right, on what you can handle. Because that's really all it is, right? You just need to be able to grow yourself in that. And that is a nonstop cycle, by the way, right? Like you are never gonna not do that. So I want to be able to add that to that because again, we all feel like, man, I'm putting so much time into this or we feel like we're doing this. Number one, you need to make sure you're focused on income producing activities, right? That's where your time needs to go first. But if you can raise your lid and raise your capacity, you can realize, man, I can do so much more, and we can have so much more availability to be able to be more productive. So my fault, Scott. I just want to add that to that.
I
You're
think
good.
No,
You're good.
I think too that Michael, that was so good. I'm glad you added that. Kind of going back to what you mentioned at the beginning about treating this like a hobby versus a business.
Hmm.
When you're treating it like a business and you're time blocking and you're showing up and you're actually running it as an owner, even before you're an agency owner, there's a healthy set of pressure. Scott and I have
Hmm.
noticed this, especially in the last like 60 days with a few people on our team that are getting people hired and entered and onboarded and licensed and getting under them. There's a healthy set of pressure for them that these people are watching me and I got to show them the way. So their production has increased. The way they show
Hmm.
up and participate as a leader has increased. And I think that when you have a healthy set of pressure on you, you are going to level up even more. Scott and I had a mentor tell us you grow by addition, not subtraction. You
Hmm.
you don't grow by taking away things from your life in order to focus on production. You grow by putting in more dials, trusting your mentor and putting in more resources, investing into cold market recruiting when the time is right, sharing this on social media, adding in coaching wrestling or whatever it may be. You grow by addition to your schedule, not subtracting. Because, like you just talked about, when you
Hmm.
have all this extra space in your calendar, it can get easy to get lost and dilly dally and take a nap and
Hmm.
do this. But when you are riding the train of I live in a structured, disciplined life and schedule, you're going to have more of an ownership mentality and operating from abundance and run your schedule like an owner versus subtracting things, trying to open up more time for yourself. So I think like that, what you just described, you added more and it gave you a healthy sense of pressure to bring yourself to that next level and raise your lid. Like you said, you raise your capacity by adding more to your plate.
Correct.
I
Because you
like,
get
I've
comfortable with
got,
handling it too, and like
yeah.
just in being able to be able to deal with it. And if you take it away, then you're not actually getting any better with
Yeah.
learning how to actually handle it. So you're 100% right, Kate.
In the takeaways for me, I shared this on a team call a couple weeks ago when we were going through the 168. The takeaways for me was sacrificing family time, sacrificing connection time with Kate, sacrificing the things that I cared about the most. And I'm like, man, that can't be a life for me. So I just need to actually run a schedule. Sarah put in the comments, and then I got your next question for you. She goes, being deployed, like having that mindset this is so true. I have locked down my time to my husband, my kids, my business, and my church. That is it. I do very little outside of that. And it's good. It's good because you will have to say no to things, but growing doesn't mean being worse in as a wife or a husband. It doesn't mean being worse like as a fitness, getting your fitness right. It means like how can I grow myself so that I can grow by addition and not have to lose out on the things that I care about. So that's what we're talking about here. Calendar, consistency. I had another question in the chat, man. I'm just going to go to the people for this one.
I
We
like
didn't
it.
talk about any questions and we didn't plan this call.
No.
What's
Which is
up,
cool with me.
Michael?
It's natural, right?
Yeah.
Authentic, so it's just easier to flow.
So I got one from Travis Sands. Travis, I see you. And this was like a big question for Kate and I in month 1 and 2 because we were just like telling people about it here and there.
Mhm.
We get a new rider and then we would lose one. We get a new rider, then lose one. And we weren't really growing at the rate
Mhm.
that you are right now. So how do you get to 30 interviews a week? When you started stepping into that world and you're like,
Mhm.
cool, I got my production locked down to 20 hours. I got 20 hours left. How did you grow your agency?
Yeah, great question. So for me back then, now, mind you, like when I started, that we didn't have like there was no systems passed down or saying, "Hey, this is exactly how you do this. This is exactly how you scale. This is exactly what you go out there and do." There's a lot of trial and error, by the way, you guys, which is good, right? Because you build certain calluses and a certain confidence by going out there and just doing it, and again, just figuring it out, right? So for me, it was just learning. All right, well, where can I post jobs on, right? I had a budget when it came to recruiting. And right, first it was LinkedIn, and I did LinkedIn and ZipRecruiter together. And I was like, oh, I like LinkedIn a little bit better. All right. So I'm like, all right, well, let's try Craigslist, or let's try WiseHire, let's try Monster, right? And I just went out there and tried these things, but I stuck with it, right? But when you're trying anything new, and I really want you guys to hear this, when you implement anything new, any systems, anything like that, you gotta give it the opportunity to even be successful, right? So you can't try it this week and again expect it to work next week. Give it
Jacob
60 to
Pope
90
said
days.
90 days. Yep. Jacob
Yep.
Pope said 90 days for every new system you put in place. And that's for leads, that's for cold market
Mhm.
recruiting. And Scott and I followed that. We learned that at AOA and we've stuck with that.
Michael, I
100%.
don't know
That's
if you agree with me here, but you can't call yourself a bad producer if you're not doing $400 a week and sitting on 10 appointments. You don't
no.
have a big enough case size. You just haven't tried yet.
Yep. And then because you're not even giving yourself a chance to identify if you're even good or bad at the business.
Yep.
You're doing 200 dials, 5 appointments booked. You're sitting on two. Like honestly, you book 5 appointments, sit on two. We don't know if you're good or bad yet, right? You book 10 or book 15, and you may sit on eight from that, meaning you're good, right? Because we all think we need more training or a different script or all this. It's just we have to do more, right? And that would just give us the confidence. But what I did was I in my schedule I had to be really diligent, right? Like because I did everything myself. I had to post a job ad, I had to vet the candidates, I had to send out the interview links to get them scheduled. And back then we didn't have all the fancy systems we had now. I was manually texting every applicant, right? Like with the videos and the Zoom link to be able to get them on my schedule. So, and it was tiring. I'm gonna be honest with you, but then eventually it got normal. And when you have a system and you're able to go through it and grow through it, then you learn where can I get time back, right? To where I hired my fiance, right? Now she's able to take care of that. Give me some time back, right? Maybe you don't have that luxury, but maybe you can hire an admin, somebody be able to help you with that. So that's what I did, right? I posted the job ads on LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, send out the text messages, send out the messages. I had certain time blocks already blocked off, and that's just what the system was every day, right? Show up to the team calls, do my interviews, produce at night, and that was just on repeat, all the time. And I wasn't the greatest at it at first, right? There was months where I was on it, and there was months where I was off it, right? Because that consistency wasn't there at times. But I just learned, all right, how can I just get a little bit better every single time I go at this, and how can I stay as consistent as possible? So
Michael's taking shots at us here. You guys remember when he said, I had to do this all on my own? And he's like looking at Kate and
that wasn't a shot. That wasn't a shot.
I. If
And
you're in this
honestly, I was
business,
resistant to that, by the way. I was a control freak. I'm a pioneer creative, you guys. So, right, I
yep.
didn't really want help because I took pride in, I was like, man, I can do this by myself, right? I can do this by myself. And that's not being a business owner, you guys, right? I just owned a job so I had to learn, like, all right, how can I leverage other things, right? I don't need to reinvent the wheel. How can I leverage some systems? Where can I learn from others? Where can I leverage IDay, right? to be able to help me out, which gives me more time to focus on the things which my strengths are, right? Because the admin stuff is not my strength, by the way. Definitely not at all.
True that, man. Me either. Everyone on this team can shake their head. Yep, it's not you, bro. All
No.
right. How do you want to close this out? I'll leave it to you here. I don't have any other questions, but thank you for your time, man. This has been great.
No, you're good.
I have a final closing question.
Cool.
Michael, what is your main 2025 kind of excitement piece right now? What are you and Ida super excited about in the business and life? What's 25 going to look like for the Mathews?
What are you doing with your agents in a couple of weeks? All right, go ahead.
But we can start with that. So super excited actually, right? We announced a incentive trip for our agency back in this past year, 2024, from September to December. We had a qualification for any agents that qualified. We would take them to Mexico, right? So we actually have that coming up here in a couple of weeks. So it's the first time put on an incentive trip, which is cool because me and Scott were talking about it. It's really crazy, like where you can grow in the business, not even realize it, right? I earned my first incentive trip to Mexico 2 years ago, actually, right? And everything was paid for me. And at that time, I thought about like, man, I can't wait to get to that point. But again, you don't think about that as you're in the day to day and going through the weeds, and then it just suddenly happened. And I didn't even think about it. And Scott was like, man, take a step back and realize like what you did, like what you like paying for agents to go to Mexico and like being able to host, like that is a blessing. And I'm like, geez, like that honestly is crazy, right? Like again, looking at my mentors being like, man, you guys been in the business so long, you're doing great. Like it's awesome you can do that, but you guys all have the power to do it too, right? To be able to step up and do that for your team as you're able to grow into it. But the one thing I'm excited about this year, right? Last year, we were able to really lock in. I learned how to actually run a business, right? Because a lot of times we're on that wave of momentum and growing in that way. And that's what I did for the first couple years. But last year, I really locked in how to actually run a business, what do systems look like, how to scale, how to duplicate. But this year, I'm looking for business partners, right? I'm ready to work with people who are actually willing, who want to be able to grow themselves. Because if you want to be able to grow yourself, then the business will grow. If you can have that at the core of you, like, hey, I want to do everything it takes for me to grow, I promise your business will grow because your heart and your mind is in the right place. You're going to be optimistic about it. So we're really excited about that, to be able to really lock arms with people and have business partners in that way, like you guys do, right? You have a ton of people killing it on your team. Like I love that road to ownership board. It's cool to see how you guys are blowing up. So that's what we're excited about in that way, and just the culture shift in our agency, right? We got the green light from Jim this morning because our agency is going to be part of the accountability call now, which I'm super excited
Let's
about.
go.
I was hoping that's why you were on.
Yeah, I was talking to Jim after, so it is we will be in there
Cool.
from the weeks on now. But
Just got better.
those are the two main things, right? Just the culture shift and really taking ownership and watching people grow and really finding those people. So and then also me and Ida just planning our wedding to be able to actually get married. That's what we're excited for in life as well.
Yeah, I'll say what Danny Young always tells us: the people who want to grow here with you will identify themselves.
Oh yeah,
They show up
without a
early,
doubt.
they come in hot, and you'll just want to spend all your time with them. Man, I'm so thankful for your time. I know that you blessed the team big time, so thank you, bro. Can't wait to see you in a couple weeks. We'll get some golf
Yes, sir.
in. We'll get some church in. We'll do the thing.
Definitely got to get some golf in for sure, and some church, both of them.
Cool. Love it, man. All right, y'all.
Michael.
Thank
See
you.
y'all. Thank y'all.
Let's close out strong. See you guys.